Hello and welcome back to Core. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after Robert, the little ferret right here with the headphones, had a little freak out at the mystery cave or wonder cave. I forgot what it was called. And Mike did not take that well. Mike is a lion right now, and he basically couldn't take any more that Robert keeps bringing Jacob back up because Jacob was his friend too. So a lot of stuff happened, and a lot of that stuff was brought up to the surface. And I guess that Mike was sort of keeping bottled up for Robert's sake and for the group's sake, but he just couldn't hold it in any longer, and that caused a fight between Robert and Mike. But thankfully, little sheep dude over here stepped up and sort of managed to mediate the situation, and they all calmed down and sort of, well, they stopped fighting, for lack of better words. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but remember this was like in September when it came out. So yeah. Anyways, well, from what I was told, this is the day where you get to essentially lock your route in, meaning that you get to lock in who you're gonna be with. And as far as I can tell, from having spoken to the creator, I will either get locked in with Mike or Gus. But I did have to redo the entire thing right up to day 6, which is this update, because there was a bug. And it usually happens with most visual novels, including Remember the Flowers, where they change something and it basically breaks your save. And you just have to replay it and just, use the skip button. But yeah, so for the choices, I think I did all the choices exactly the same, I think, but there were like 2 things that popped up, which I don't remember being there when I originally read this. So if I don't end up where I would have prior to this, then that's probably why. But anyways, well, enough talking, and without further ado, let's continue core. I'm afraid of falling asleep. I'm trying not to think about it, but those thoughts are lurking. I hug my pillow, trying not to think. I'm scared of dreaming about him again. It hurts to wake up like that. But I have to face it. I can't be scared all the time. I try to relax my body and I welcome whatever's coming. Whatever has to happen can happen, even if it hurts, even if it means Jacob is gone forever. I'm tired of pretending and running away. It's painful and it's scary, but no more. My friends will help me if I need it. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. You're not alone. You've never been alone. I know it's been hard to see, and I know you do now, but never forget. You have a family that loves you. Maybe your mom is a bit overprotective and she might not understand you completely, but she always supported you nonetheless. Your father taught you a lot about yourself and even pushed you to do what you wanted to do. You have great friends that deeply care about you. Some you knew since you were a small kid, others you met later, and you were even catching up with others after a long time. The important thing is the connections you have with your loved ones, Robert, because even when they're gone, they'll still persist and teach you new things. Just because someone is gone doesn't mean that they're gone. I'm still here, and I'll always be with you. Maybe not in the way you wanted, but I'll be here in your new life, in your new lives. I'll smile upon you, okay? If anything, I guess I have a favor to ask you, for the both of us, honestly. Stop trying to forget about me. I think you know by now, but that's not the way to go, and it would hurt me too. So, let's do our best today, okay? Promise me, Robert? I promise. Huh? Promise? Promise what? What was I? I'm not sure. I can't remember what I was dreaming about, but for some reason, I feel conflicted. As if I decided to do something I don't want to do. Ugh, whatever, I need to pee. I'll have my existential crisis after that. I get up from the couch that I've gotten so used to for the past few days before thinking about what to do. I don't hear anyone awake yet, but I haven't checked what time it is. So I check my phone and 10 a.m. and no one's awake? I guess we all needed some good rest after yesterday. Well, whatever the case, I need the bathroom, and the one on this floor is the closest one. I have to go through the bedroom to get there, though. I hesitate for a second, wondering if I should knock on the door first or something, but again, I don't hear anything, and I really need to pee. So I walk in the front of the door and slowly open it, hoping not to wake anyone up. There's no one here. Huh. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. Worried, but not about waking them up, I head to the bathroom and do what I have to do. Once done, I wash my hands and I'm ready to head back, when I smell smoke. It comes from the small window in this bathroom, so, from outside, he's smoking again. I can feel I don't have the energy to be annoyed or angry right now. For some reason, it's just not happening, so maybe I'm over it. But I still want to check on him. He's the one I barely spoke with after. After I heard Jacob's tune, there's no point pretending it doesn't happen. Besides, I promised? I don't have time to think about this. I want to check on Faust. I step out of the house, putting on my shoes even if I'm still half dressed, so I can head around to the back where the bathroom window connects to. That's when I'm met with a surprise because I see Faust, but Mike is also there. Both of them sitting on the sand with their backs against the house, and their attention put on me. Faust looks surprised at first, but his expression relaxes when he notices it's me. However, Mike looks tired. He smiles at me though, waving his hand before patting a spot next to him. Hey Rob, I'm sorry if we woke you up. Yes, we figured no one would hear us talk here, but maybe... No, you didn't wake me up. I needed to use the bathroom and then... I don't really say it, but then I notice that Faust has a cigarette between his fingers, and I'm very confused. I told him yesterday. I told him everything, so don't worry. He knows I'm trying to quit. I'm still disappointed that you're smoking again, but I understand. As I said, take it easy, man. Okay. A bit unexpected, but alright. I guess Faust was worried over nothing, even if Mike isn't even trying to pretend he's not happy about it. I end up sitting near Mike, since he pats the sand next to him again. I kind of expected him to pull me closer for a hug, but he doesn't. So you're just taking a break then, or... No, well, I guess. He brings the cigarette closer to his lips, and for some reason, I don't want to see it, so I look away to my front. I don't want to normalize this. I gave him my permission to smoke right now, since he was having a really hard time sleeping last night. Besides, this way I can make sure he doesn't cheat. I'm not going to cheat, Mike, but I think I need someone to give me that permission right now. Permission? To smoke? Yes, I'm afraid of looking for excuses to smoke again, so I guess having someone else's permission to do that. Mike makes me feel more sure about myself in that sense. I think I understand what he means, but I'm just surprised. I always knew Mike and Faust had a really good friendship. I just never knew it was this strong. It makes sense, I guess, but since Faust was hiding this from him, I figure he didn't trust him with this information. However, Mike seems to be taking it pretty well. I guess I need to give everyone more credit than I originally thought. Alright, I see. So we're just here to check on Faust? Come on. No, we're also talking about some stuff. Personal stuff. I was about to ask, but hearing that, I guess I won't. I think Mike realizes he just sounded very direct, so he smiles again. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound, well, mean. But there's some conversations that I have with Faust that I don't have with anyone else. I understand that, really, Don't apologize. He knows my thoughts and I know his, and we're good with that. We can definitely afford to spend time with a ferret friend now. I'm not really following, but Mike looks satisfied. Faust is also trying to smile, but I can tell his tone is a bit more somber than Mike's. I won't pry, although I'm definitely curious. So, how are you feeling today? I don't know. My reply just comes out. I don't even have time to think about it first. I feel glad that that's the case. I need to trust them and be honest. I'm here, I guess. You certainly are, and I'm really glad. Core would be super boring without you here. I'm sure it's boring even with me around. You seem to think that, but I'm honestly really enjoying my time here, Rob. I'm really grateful to be able to experience this. Same here. I'm usually so busy back at home that this is such a nice change of pace. Gus and the sea definitely make it better, though. Absolutely. I can't believe you didn't ever bring him back up in Moreland. Ah, man. I don't want to feel bad, so I'm going to try my best, but I still feel like an asshole for that. I guess it's because I lost contact with him, and I was ashamed of it, so if I didn't think about it, it didn't happen. That's how I used to think, even if it's not the best way to handle things. You don't think like that anymore, then? I think I still do, but I'm aware now, and I'm trying to correct myself when I do. I think that's good. Life is too complicated to make it harder feeling ashamed. Fix what you can, move on with what you can, and enjoy your holiday. For once. Faust looks at his cigarette as he starts speaking, almost as if he was hypnotized by the small light coming from it. Before he puts it out against the sand. However, he keeps it between his fingers. I guess so that he can throw it away in an actual trash can later. I agree with the dumb lying. I'm learning how to do that too. I still need some time, but I don't want to use that as an excuse to not learn. Only you can make a YOLO feel mature, Faust. I snicker, but Mike starts laughing loudly. I can even see Faust grinning in response. I guess it's nice having small moments where we pretend everything is fine. No, we're not pretending. Even if I'm not fine, I'm actually having a good time with them. Anyway, my point is, I'm glad that we got to meet Gus. I hope we can see him more often. Of course we will. Either we visit him more often, or he visits us, that's for sure. I was actually talking about it with him and Ed the other day. I wonder if he would like to move to Moreland with us at some point. Ah, do you think he'd be interested in that? Well, I haven't asked him that specifically, so I don't know. But I wonder if I should share some of Gus's thoughts with them. It's pretty personal, though. I think it's up to Gus ultimately, so I shouldn't say it, even if they'd understand. Let's say he'd like the change. We would make sure to make that change easier for him. I mean, and, don't tell him this yet, obviously, but... Faust looks at the sand under him, and I can tell that he's thinking hard about whether he wants to say something or not. He ends up raising his head with a decision. I could even consider renting him a room in my flat if he needs a place to stay for a while. Whoa, that'd be huge for him. That's so nice of you, although I feel offended you never offered that to me. Why would I? You come over so many times you practically live there. I'd also miss my family too, yeah. And you two are already fighting over who cooks here. Imagine if you lived together. Yes, not happening. That sounds exhausting even for me, man. I snicker again, imagining the situation playing out like a comic sketch. It's nice to feel like this again, even if it's for a bit. I know things haven't completely healed, but it's a good start. Alright, I'm done with my breaks, so... Faust sighs loudly before standing up, using the wall to help himself. We can head back any time. Mike and I follow his example right after, and I use the chance to stretch. I'm not really sleepy anymore, huh? Okay, I think I'm gonna stay out and use the chance to do some exercise. Morning routine already? Well, yes, it makes me feel good, and it keeps my mind occupied, you know? I guess that makes sense. I think I could use some of that right now, being too busy to think. But I'm also not sure if I should force myself to do something, like exercise right now. Even if I know I promised Mike I'd join him in that routine, I wasn't planning for what happened yesterday when I made that promise. Ultimately, the choice is mine, so... Uh... You need some exercise, Robert. Um... Yeah, let's join him. So, do you mind if I join you? Oh, I didn't think you'd have it in you right now. Especially since you've been skipping it for a few days. Well, I guess I need something like what you were saying. Keep your mind occupied and stuff. I understand that, and you're more than welcome, of course. I'm gonna escape before Mike forces me to join you two. Well, honestly, you could use some exercise. I mean, you still look fine, obviously, but, you know... Faust seems to be considering it for real, and I'm surprised at that. I mean, I figure Faust keeps himself fit enough somehow, but... I never imagined him actually joining Mike in a workout session. Not today, but maybe at some point. I will remember that. I know you will. As he says that, Faust escapes us, heading into the house. Alright, should we change first? Honestly? Nah, these are my training shorts I'm wearing, and the ones you have on are definitely more fitting for workout than your usual pants. Well, fair enough. I don't even bother asking him about the shirt and the shoes since I remember our previous experience. Okay, if we're focused already, let's do some warm-up exercise and get to it. We do some stretches and stuff, the usual things you would expect before exercising before we start running on the sand. Just as I remembered, running on the sand like this feels like torture, but at least I'm in some comfortable pants this time. I legit don't know how Mike can even make it so effortless. I haven't heard him complain even once. We managed to reach the other side of the beach, quite a distance if you ask me, and then I need to take a break. My entire body is asking me why I didn't skip this. Why did I come along? I'm sweaty and tired and I need water. Mike approaches me while I'm sitting down in the sand, and I hope he's coming with a water bottle. But he doesn't. Disappointing. Tired already, are we? I don't know why I agreed to do this with you. Because it's fun, and it keeps you busy. That is true. The busy part, not the fun part. It's not fun. That being said, he sits next to me, resting his weight on one of his hands while the other one rests on his leg. Tired already, are we? Do you really want me to get up and run all the way back? I'm sure you won't follow me right now. You sure get cocky when it comes to sports and working out and stuff. And cooking! I'm the best at cooking too. We both chuckle, but after that I sigh. Now that we're relaxing, my brain is working again. Although it's still curious about Mike and Faust. So, I'm not going to ask what you two were talking about, but are you and Faust okay? Why wouldn't we be? I don't know, I guess I'm a bit surprised you're taking it this well? You know, Faust smoking? I certainly didn't. He lets a small escape him before switching his position, sitting with his legs crossed and his hands on top of them. I think it's because I could see how much he's been trying and how much this whole thing is affecting him. He's been holding back a lot, but this morning he couldn't anymore and started sobbing. He told me everything. And honestly, I didn't have the heart to blame him. I mean, I don't want to blame anyone for what happened. It's okay. I know you don't blame me. You don't have to specify it. I know, but just in case, I don't want you to think that ever. I'd rather be annoying and repeat it 1,000 times to be sure. But anyway, I saw him like that and I knew that he was smoking because that's all he could do. And if that's the case, I'd rather be there with him and make sure that he doesn't go too far. He's still trying his best to quit after all. I listen in silence, processing all this. I knew Faust was having a hard time, but I guess I never really thought about just how hard it was for him. Again, that selfish little voice wanting to be the most hurt out of all of us. But I'm aware enough to know that the voice is an asshole and that I shouldn't listen to it. Now, he has to try to hold back the urge to smoke for 5 days. Got it. We can keep tabs on him together then. He shows me a toothy grin at that, and I can't help but chuckle along. I feel like Mike and I are still as close as always. I'm really glad. If anything, I'm glad to see that he trusted you with this. To be fair, I kind of found out on my own, and then he didn't have a chance to hide it. Yes, but I know Faust. If he wanted to, he would have just closed himself off from you. He has a hard time expressing how he feels. He always has. He'd rather keep it to himself so it doesn't bother anyone. There are some subtle undertones to his words. They give me feelings of nostalgia and guilt. It's feeling like something else happened between them in the past that I don't know about. But I'm not about to ask. I've already pried enough. So I guess I'm glad to know that he talked to you first. You're a really good friend, Rob. Never forget that. As he says that, he looks at me with a sweet smile, ruffling the fur on my head and making me giggle. I won't, but I don't take it for granted. I'm glad you're here for me too. I feel like hugging Mike, but I'm not sure if I should after yesterday. I mean, he seemed to be okay, but maybe it's too soon. However, I don't have time to think about it as he hugs me instead, his strong arms wrapping around me. I do the same, although my arms aren't as strong as his, and we're both a bit sweaty from running before, but I can take it. Okay, are you ready to go back now? Fuck, no I'm not. Well, I wasn't ready, but it didn't matter. I made my way back running so Mike wouldn't leave me behind. Whatever, I'm glad to spend this time with Mike alone. It's nice to see that we can still talk things through, even after our argument yesterday. We all end up meeting in the living room around 11:30 since some of us haven't even had breakfast yet. At least I'm okay with snacking on some cereal. Admittedly, my head is not really here right now. There's something that's been on the back of my mind since I woke up, and it's not going away. Something I dreamt about, but I don't remember what I dreamt. It's annoying to me. It feels like I made a promise to do something specific. Something about Jacob? It feels right, but then it was just a dream, right? I did hear his tone yesterday after all, in my usual headphones, so maybe he is communicating with me somehow? I feel a bump on my shoulder at some point, and I turn my head to look at Ed, sitting next to me, looking a bit concerned. I guess I've been spacing out after all, so he must have been worried. Sorry, I'm okay. I was just thinking. It's alright. I just wanted to make sure that you're still here with us. I nod and smile at him, and he does the same, focusing his attention on the others who are probably chatting about something. I don't feel like joining since I wasn't paying attention from the beginning, and I still have that thought in the back of my mind. This will bother me if I don't do something about it. It doesn't have to be now, but I shall let them know. Hey, everyone? They all slowly quiet down to look at me, still with a smile on their faces. I don't want to be dramatic, so I'd like them to keep it. Sorry for interrupting. I just want to make sure that I don't forget, but I'm probably going to spend some time alone today. That's more than alright. We did say that we could do our own thing from time to time. I remember, even though it's funny to me that I was the one that was as upset with that at first, and now I'm the one asking for it. The irony is not lost on me. Keeping it real, I think we could all enjoy some time on our own today, at least for a bit. I'm cool with it, but we should let Gus know, just in case. I don't think we need to worry about that. I checked on him a bit ago, and he seemed to have to work today. Alright, then there's nothing to worry about. I'll take some time for myself, but you can all contact me if you need me at some point. Do you have somewhere to go in mind? Yes, I'm thinking of taking another look around the open market. I don't think I'll buy anything else, but it could be fun. If that's the case, I'll go to the supermarket instead. We still have more than enough food, but I want to do something special soon. Oh? Like what? I'm not telling. Great, I get Gus to stop planning surprises for us, and you start now? I'm not going to keep this from you for 2 days though. Don't worry, you'll find out soon. I also want to know. Come on, tell us, Faust. No. If I do, you'll go buy it behind my back and we'll have the usual argument. Let me have this today, please. Alright, I will. I trust you do something nice. Then I might go to the modern area. I like all this, but I'm starting to miss a bit of the modern life, stuck in this house. I'll go with you then, if you don't mind. It just sounds like a fun time. Of course, we could sketch up some ideas if you bring your sketchbook. Yes, let's do that! I can't hide a smile when I see those two interacting like that. I sometimes forget that they met in an art class to begin with. Anyway, that leaves me, but I think I know where I want to go. I guess I'll go to the opposite direction and visit the older part of Core. Sounds like a plan then. We all know where we will be then. I'm surprised no one is going to be in the house at all. I mean, aside from when we explored Core a few days ago and yesterday. Even I need to step out from time to time. Why do you think I go to class? Because you have to? Well, that too. But my parents could afford a private teacher, so it's not even necessary for me. And because your parents wouldn't let you study art at home? Alright, fair. But I also like to be outside from time to time. Sorry, we're not used to this Hector. He's definitely a fun one, though. And very mature. My dick is very mature. Alright, I'm leaving. Everyone but Faust laughs, but even he lets slip a smirk. I can tell that we all have our own processing to do still, but as a group, nothing's changed. We probably owe that to Hector though. If he hadn't made us all talk like he did, today could have gone very different. After a few minutes, we all get ready to leave, going our own ways soon after. Since we went there a few days ago, the memory of how to get there is still fresh in my mind. I find the path in no time. This place definitely feels different from the rest of Core. It's a pretty quiet place in general, but it's obvious most people are in the modern area. However, here's where you can really enjoy the silence, occasionally broken by some people walking around. It feels like a part of Core that will die once the older people that live here pass away, and that thought makes me sad. I used to spend a lot of time with Ed and Gus when we were kids here, playing around, hiding with each other, heading to the school together. I soon sit on a bench, not really sure where to go or what to do. To be honest, I wanted to come here because I was sure I wouldn't run into anyone. There's a part of me that wants to be alone right now, even if I'm not sure why. But I know that if I don't do something about it now, I'll never do it. However, I still feel uncomfortable here. Even if there's not a lot of people, there's still enough. If I end up crying, I don't want anyone to be around. Maybe I should have stayed back at the beach house. Huh. Unless... I stand up, looking around, knowing that I'm close to the traffic sign Ed, Gus, and I used to stand under to see who could reach the top first. And here it is, our old sign. We used it for that, but it was also a central place to meet up, heading to school together or simply hanging out. I'm sure I remember the route to our old school from here. I'm absolutely sure. And here it is, exactly where we left it a few days ago. It's still a shame to see it so abandoned, but I guess time flies after all. Memories flow, and it's almost as if I could hear kids playing in the wind, but I'm pretty sure that would be dangerous considering the state of the school. Yes, I think I'm going to do it here. I'm not sure why I said that out loud, but it felt right, as if letting the universe know that I was going to be by myself for a while was what I needed to do. I walk along the walls that surround the school, looking for a cozy place with some shade to hide from the sun, and when I find some, I sit down with my back against it. I take a few deep breaths, knowing that this, for some reason, might be tough. I came here without an exact plan, and I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm determined to figure this out. I want to feel better. I want to feel like myself without being scared of thinking of him. And so, I close my eyes, and I put my broken headphones on. Nothing is happening. I don't hear anything. I don't hear Jacob. I knew I wouldn't, but a part of me wanted to hear him again. Prove me wrong. That he was trying to communicate with me, maybe. That he wasn't gone. But that's absurd. I probably imagined it yesterday. No, I'm sure I heard him yesterday. His tone. He put it on my headphones. I remember. Hey, I'm home. Jacob? Are you here? Rob. Hello, sweetie. I was distracted cooking. Sorry. Nothing that a welcome home kiss can't fix. Coming right up. How's your day been? Do you want to chill on the couch while you tell me? Sure. I thought you were cooking though. Right. I'll be right back. Goofball. One day you'll end up burning the house down. That will be you, at least until I teach you how to cook some stuff other than basic food. I've been getting better, fuck you. Later. Dinner and chill first. Hello, stranger. Do you come here often? From time to time. I've got my eyes on a handsome dog with golden fur. Let him know I think he's hot. Shit, he told me about this ferret that's driving him crazy. I wonder if that's you. Anyway, the day's been fine. Busy as usual. A few hours of studying, some more working. You know how it goes. So tired overall? Wow, I feel like I'm having deja vu. Why do you ask how I'm doing if you already know the answer then, you dork? It makes you speak, and I like hearing you. Come on, I wasn't ready for that. You can't keep flirting with me when I'm tired. It's forbidden. Forbidden ferret time. Try and stop me. Maybe I will. Before I forget, I'll be right back. Whoa, you almost knocked me off the couch. What's wrong? Did you forget you're hiding your lover in the wardrobe? I can imagine the conversation. Yes, I'm telling her to leave through the window now because I'm very gay. Oh, so a girl, huh? If I knew, I wouldn't have flirted with you in the past. Alright, dork, close your eyes. I have something for you. Okay, but if I hear a zipper, I'm biting your dick. Close your eyes! That's when I felt them for the first time. He took his time and placed them around my neck with so much care. I didn't know what it was at first. It was too heavy to be a scarf, but it wasn't warm. Its weight rested on the back of my neck, but it wasn't too terrible. What is this? Okay, you can look now. Ta-da! I saw them and I thought that they looked great on you. And they're of good quality too. You'll be able to listen to your music on your way to class and work. Huh. Cool. I never really used headphones before, though, so I might need to get used to them. I have the feeling that once you get used to them, you'll wear them a lot. You have a slightly longer neck than most people, so they look very good on you. Thank you so much. But don't think I didn't notice that comment about my neck. You know, I love your neck as much as I love you. Well, I love you as much as you love me, or more. But I don't have a present for you right now to prove it. You can prove it to me by wearing them right now. For example, try them on. Tell me how they feel in your ears. I did as he told me, closing my eyes and focusing on the sensation. They were softening the background noise coming from outside, giving me a bit of an isolated feeling. Then I felt Jacob tapping the headphones, and... there it was. His tone. He added it to the headphones with his power. He could add music to things he touched. It was interesting at first, but after a while, I was tired of the toilet or the toothbrush having personalized tones whenever I used them, so I had to have that talk with him. However, this tone was very short and nice. I do wonder if it'll be annoying if I hear it while I'm listening to music, though. Did you really have to add a tone to the headphones, Jacob? Of course! I want you to remember me from time to time when you listen to your music in a totally not creepy way. Saying that isn't creepy doesn't make it not creepy, hun. Anyway, the point is that you'll feel like you're carrying me around with you. That way, you'll never forget about me. Never forget about you. I'm I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm sorry I tried to forget about you. I'm sorry I don't know how to move on from this. I'm sorry that I thought the only way to do that was to pretend you never existed. I'm... I'm sorry I survived and you... It's, a horrible thought, I know. But if I try not to think like that, I feel this guilt, as if I'm being extremely selfish. As if I'm leaving Jacob behind, as if he'd hate me if I try to be happy again. And I know it doesn't make sense. Why would he? But even trying to find an explanation as to why Jacob would hate me fills me with guilt. It's like a giant rock. It's overwhelming. It makes it hard to breathe. I tighten the grip on the headphones before I pull them back, hearing the sounds of the street again. But of course, I'm at my old school. I'm alone. Only the faint sound of the wind can be heard. I chose this. If I try to understand why I feel like this, it's like my brain tries to stop me. Maybe I'm scared of the possibility that he actually hated me in his last moments. Because why would he? He had as many plans as I had. He wanted to live as much as me. Why did I, and not him? I feel tears running down my face again, but I don't have the energy to do anything about them. I'm so tired. So tired of feeling bad, guilty, like I stole his time so that I could live instead of him. I hate thinking like this. So why am I thinking like this? Being logical, we weren't responsible for our accident, and I didn't choose to survive. It just happened. So then, why do I believe that he would hate me for doing that? Jacob has always been understanding with me, always encouraged me to do things that I love doing. Where does this hate come from? Why am I okay with thinking I shouldn't have survived? Sometimes our brain is our worst enemy, right? Especially in these situations. Well, you know what? Fuck you, brain. I knew Jacob more than you think I did. I know he wouldn't want me to do nothing with my life until I see him again. I know he would hate to see me hurting like this. He would hate seeing me getting stabbed in that alleyway like I wanted to instead of Mike. He would hate to see me hanging from my ceiling like I thought about when I saw the apartment with our things as if you never left. No, that's enough. Jacob was the best person that I've ever known, and he would want me to fucking live. Why would he want me to do those things? He wouldn't. What the fuck? Even if it was true, I still have so many people that are looking out for me. My mom, my dad have been supporting me as much as they could. And all I've ever done is push them aside, not even tell them what's been on my mind. I'll change that. And my friends, they're here with me, wishing the best for me, wanting me to be how I used to be. I don't know if that's possible, but I know I want to be me, 100%. I have many reasons to try, and I know Jacob would be proud of me for standing up and doing it. So I do. Without cleaning my tears, I stand up. I don't do anything else, but that's more than enough for me. I don't think I'd be able to stand up a few minutes ago, but here I am. I'm doing this for everyone else, but especially for myself. I don't know if there's a reason as to why I'm here and not Jacob, but I'm here. I'm choosing to be here. My legs tremble though. That thought, that guilt, it's not gone. It's still there. But something has changed in me because, even if it's heavy, I feel like I'm stronger. I'm still standing. It's not asphyxiation like it was before. It's as if I remember how to breathe again. It feels good, kind of bittersweet, because I still feel like I'm leaving something I don't want to leave behind. But I guess it's something that I'll have to handle. I need to if I want to be the best me I can be. I take a look at the school I used to visit every day when I was a kid. It looks so old and abandoned. It somehow feels symbolic. Something people have to leave behind in order to improve. But I guess the memories of it are still here, if someone ever needs them. I guess that's what it means to move on. It's not abandoning, it's accepting that things are different now. I feel better now, exhausted, as if I just had a meeting with 500 people. But I'm good. I'll be fine. even if I'm still working on it. With the strength that I somehow gathered, I decided to step away from this place for now. I needed it, and now I must move on from it. There's still more things that I need to figure out, like what to do with my future, if I should keep studying psychology or aim for something else. I still feel passionate about it, or rather, I want to believe that. But admittedly, after the accident, it hasn't been very present in my mind. Or about where I'll live from now on. I only got rid of Jacob's things, but I didn't change anything aside from that. Should I move somewhere else? I could look for a roommate, or maybe have a place of my own. I'm not sure which one's the one I need the most right now. Speaking of, what will I do about my headphones? Should I keep them? They make me feel like I'm not alone. But I'm not alone. Even without them, they also don't work, but I can use them to block the sound. It's funny how I managed to keep these headphones with me, but I still forgot who gave them to me. No, not forget. It's almost like I blocked it out from my mind, yet they still meant something to me, otherwise I wouldn't have any reason to bring them here. And also, is it really okay for me to be feeling something for someone else? I'm not even sure if I am. It definitely feels different than how it was with Jacob. And then this whole situation happened. Is it really okay to be thinking about this right now? I know there's not an exact time where you just stop worrying about, but I feel, guilty obviously. It's almost like I'm about to cheat on him, but that's absurd. The alternative is not dating anyone else ever again. Do I even want to? I mean, the idea seems nice that I've been with someone for so long, but do I really want to? Or is it just that I don't know how to be alone? I'm starting to feel overwhelmed again with all these questions. Deep breaths. You can do this. Slow down. Close your eyes and breathe. Okay, my heart is calming down. That was some good advice. That being said, this pity party needs to stop, Rob. Yes, all of these questions are just distracting me from the present. I will figure things out as it happens. For now, I'm here. I know Jacob will be smiling at me no matter what. Happy to see I'm trying. That being said, there's someone that needs more help than me right now. Gus. I have the feeling that what happened yesterday is still in his head. I have a lot of people to remind me that I'm still here, but I don't think he believes he has that yet. And we've told him so many times now, but I can handle this. And because I can, I want to make sure Gus doesn't add more bad experiences to the ones he already has. With that in mind, I pull my phone out of my pocket and start to send messages to everyone. I have an idea that could cheer him up and make him believe in us again for good. Setting everything up is going to take some time, but it'll be worth it. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So yeah, it's nice to see that Robert is processing the grief that he's had from what's happened. And I'm hopeful that this processing will help him and his friends sort of move on from what's happened, but not in that let's forget that there was a death in our friend group, but where they can look towards the future instead, which is what I think that Robert wants to do. I also hope that it helps fix things between him and his little lion friend. Also, I'm curious to see how the powers thing works, like how Jacob's power worked. If there's, if you could just literally touch something and all of a sudden that thing just makes music. Because that kind of sounds like it would be super annoying. It's like you open a door and makes music. You flush the toilet and makes music. You brush your teeth and makes music. You just take a bite of your food and it makes music. But yeah, anyways, so what are your thoughts so far? It's nice to see the writer sort of showing how, I guess, grief is processed yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Core yourself and find out what happens, you can find a direct link to it from the Core Twitter page. But yes, because they have an official Core visual novel Twitter page, which again takes you directly to their itch page or to their Patreon, where you can, help support the project and get early access to builds of Core before I do. You get to find out what happens in day 7. And as I stated earlier, this day, or at least by the end, you basically get locked into the route of the person that you're going to be spending at the I guess next 3 days with, because this has been shortened from 2 weeks to 10 days. So it's not going to go up to day 15, it's going to just go up to day 10. And yeah, I guess that's it. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.